Right, so first chuck into the session, just going to put 2 red maggots, nice and easy. So casting the whip, I'm right-handed, so I have the hook in my left hand, the whip in my right hand. And all I'm going to do is use the weight of the float and the pendulum of the whip to flick it where I want to go. So I'm just going to drop it in just down here, right where I've been feeding maggots. Oh, and so there's one on there straight away. So all I'm going to do is pull the opposite direction to the float. And now we've got the world's smallest rudd, but we haven't blanked. All right, so that's pretty straightforward. We're going to keep a tight line. The hook's nice and easy. Just push the hook away from the rudd, and we're going to drop him back straight away. So we've had a little rudd. Now we're going to go in again. So when the float goes under, we're going to give it a controlled strike. We're not going to try and break the fish's mouth and hoik it out of the water. It's just a straightforward, nice, continuous pull away from the float. So the float's just about to go under any minute now, and all we're going to do is just pull away. Now see how there's just a nice gentle lift, and we're into a fish. So let the whip and the elastic do the work. So this one's a nice sized fish. We're just going to use a landing net on this one. We don't want to be swinging anything of a decent size. So when the fish pops up like that, it's a nice little crusion. It's on the surface, and then what we'll do is just slowly put the net under it. So we're going to bring it in. Should really have an unhooking mat. You can get them from any good tackle shop. They're nice and cheap, anything from 9 quid up to 25 quid, depending on what you want. But this is just a bog standard unhooking mat. So we're going to pick the fish up. We've got a lovely crusion, beautiful true crusion, and this one's perfect because we've got a chance to use a disgorger on this one. So the key thing about using the disgorger is keeping a tight line between the hook and the pole. So we're going to push that away, so we've got a nice tight line. In the disgorger you have a little groove, which is we're going to slot the line through that groove. I normally wrap the line round once, twice into the groove, and then all we do is push down to the hook, away from the fish's mouth, and like so, the bait comes out. So that's a lovely little crusion. Just going to put him in the landing net. I'm just going to slowly release him back down here, ready for a catch another day, and off he swims. So really straightforward, always thinking about the fish, and we can probably even go out again without even changing the hook bait on that one. So repeat the process. We've got 3 maggots on there this time. Just going to pick the marker, drop it in right where we want it to go, like that. Now the float hasn't settled because there's probably a fish intercepted it on the way through, and that's what we call a hold up or a lift bite. That's when the fish swims towards you and the weight comes up, so the float will pop up as well. That's an indication or a bite that you need to strike at. So we've dropped it straight back where we wanted it to be, and we're ready for action. Landing net to hand, unhooking net to hand, bait to hand. Right, so nice gentle little lift. Just going to take your time, let the fish wear itself out. A nice skimmer. It's got a nice skimmer, about probably half a pound, 10 ounces. Beautiful fish on the corn, so a change of hook bait to a bigger fish. And yeah, hope you've learned something. I'm going to show you different types of hook baits and how to hook them. So obviously the Old Faithful and the easiest one is maggots. Obviously they come in different shapes and sizes, but just ordinary red maggots or white maggots will be perfect. We've had a pint for today's session. Basically with maggot, there's a head and there's a tail. So we've got the the fat head end with the two little dots as its eyes. I'm just going to put the hook straight through the skin. Now I've done it wrong there, I've split it. So we'll start again. So you go straight through the skin there like that, and the maggot will wriggle away perfectly. You can double them over and put your second one through the thin end. Some people like to do that. Like so. Pretty straightforward. Everything likes maggots, so always a #1 bait to start off with. The second bait is worms. Again, you can either dig them out of your garden, or you can just buy them in a small tub from the shop. Obviously make sure it's not too hot when you're using them, because they will die in extreme heats. So these are just ordinary Dendrobina worms, nice and fresh. What we're going to do today is we're going to just nip it in half, like so. Oh, like so. And we're going to put the hook through the bit we've just nipped off, just so that scent's nearest the hook. Then the other half of it, I'm just going to put through, like that. Then we're left with a nice big juicy worm. So that's 2 hook baits. The other one is sweet corn. Obviously there's lots of different flavoured corns in the shop. Ordinary sweet corn will do the job. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously I wouldn't advise to take tins to the bank. I would probably take them off the bank and put them in a bait tub first. But we're just going to show you today. Put that down there. So look at sweet corn. Sweet corn's a great bait for getting a better stamp fish. So these are a nice sized grain of corn. Sometimes if they're too big, like maize sort of size, they're a little bit too big for the size of the fish we're going to be catching today. So I'm going to pick a nice juicy bit of corn, that one there. Where I'll see the corn join the cob, that's that end, and then this is the tough end. So you can either put it straight through the middle, like so, and just have it out the top like that, just straight forward, or you can hook it in the side, and with corn you can bury the whole hook inside it if you wanted to, if you feel the fish is shy. But that there, so there's literally no hook showing. And they're the 2 ways I would hook a bit of corn. I wouldn't complicate it, pretty straightforward. In there, round, make sure the point's showing like so. So they're the 3 baits you can get pretty easily, either from the tackle shop or from the supermarket. So this hook is a size 16, which predominantly is perfect for maggots, but if I was just going to be using worms and corn, I'd probably go up to a size 14.
First of all, we need to choose the place we're going to fish, and we call it a swim or a peg. There are certain things that you want to look for, and these are fish holding areas. Some of them are really obvious. It's weed, lily pads, areas that hold fish, sunken trees, moor boats, like we have a moor boat over there, and on flowing rivers, bends. Bends are very important. Outside of bends, you get undercut banks, but that's a bit more advanced stuff. So really a little bit of watercraft, working out where you want to fish. Some of the things we're looking for are also potential hazards. So in this particular peg I'm in at the minute isn't great for a beginner because I've got overhanging trees. So you could get your pole rig caught into it. Weed's an issue because you get snagged up, you could lose fish in the weed. Lily pads again are good and bad. Boats moving up and down the river you need to be wary of. And the water itself is obviously the biggest potential hazard. Can you swim? Are you comfortable getting in and out of water? If you've got a peg or swim that's got an undercut bank, the bank could collapse, and also you could have deep water nearby. So you need to be aware of all these things so that you can get yourself out of a position of danger if it should happen. So we've walked along the river bank and we've seen 1 or 2 areas that we really like and think these could be really good for fish holding areas, and we need to access these swims or pegs. So how do you get down the riverbank? The way I do it, and a bit of a Fenland goat, and I don't mean greatest of all time, I mean goat as in getting up and down the banks, is I turn sidewards and I sidestep down the bank. And carrying gear, I always carry on the outside of me, facing down the bank, 2 reasons. You will slip over, particularly if it's wet and raining, and you don't want to fall on your gear. One, you can hurt yourself, and probably more importantly for most of us, you don't want to break anything. So always carry your gear on the downside of you, the outside, not the slope sides, just in case you slip. Okay, so we've got to the water's edge. We don't want to be too close, but we want to be close enough so we can fish, we can net fish. If we're using a keep net, we can access the keep net. A little bit back from the bank, we want to find a suitable place to put our chair or platform. Now, where we're fishing here on the old course of the Nene, the anglers have been setting up platforms for years, so there's flat areas, and you can use these flat areas to help you set up your chair really safely and very stable. So you need to work out where's comfortable, where you can land fish and not hopefully hook a tree. You've got to be aware of your potential hazards. And then you can start to set up. Very good practice is to put the back legs down first. So you get the back legs down, get the mud feet, those wide bases, nice and stable on the bank, and then lower the front legs, and then just make slight adjustments to your seat or platform so you're very comfortable. The last thing you want to be doing is wobbling, because 1, you can't fish efficiently, and 2, it's not safe. So once you've got your chair and platform nice and stable, you can start to assess the things you need around you. If you've got a side tray, you can put it here. You can put your landing net on your left-hand side if you're right-handed, the reverse if you're left-handed. So side tray will go here if you're left-handed, and you can then work out where you need your gear to start your session. Okay, so we've finished the session. We've emptied the river. We've caught every fish in it, hopefully. How do we then access getting out of a steep bank? Well, you just do the reverse. Pack away nice and slowly, walk up the bank, sidestep in again, have all your gear on the outside of you just in case you fall over, and take minimal amounts of gear with you and do several trips. That's the best way of doing it. Don't rush, just take your time, get your stuff to the top of the bank and have a really safe and enjoyable fishing session. And don't forget, take your litter home as well.